Here we are, everyone. This is John Eustice, and I am speaking from Orient Point, New York, to Bobby Lea, who is in Rio. And Bobby, where are you? Are you at the Olympic Village?
I am at the Olympic Village. I'm sitting here in my apartment right now.
And look, you're a three-time Olympian. Um, how did this Olympics pan out? How did it rank with London and Beijing and your two previous Olympic experiences?
The one thing that I've learned about the Olympics now is that every Olympics is a unique experience. And I'd gone into London thinking it was gonna be like Beijing, and I guess rather naively so. And it turned out that that was a completely unique experience on its own. And so, coming into this one, my third Olympics, I did have that understanding that pretty much anything I knew about Olympic experience in the past really wasn't going to count for much, and that this was going to be an experience all to itself. And that really proved to be the case.
And how did the Brazilians do? We heard so much in the news. This was bad. This was terrible. Like, how was it from an athlete's perspective?
It was incredible. I think a lot of what you heard in the news was kind of a slow news cycle leading up to the start of the games and the opening ceremony. And we saw it in Beijing, maybe not so much in London, but certainly Athens had a lot of it. Sochi had a lot of it, and I think it's fairly typical of a run up to the games when there's really not that much to write about, and so guys are looking to fill column inches. But once the games got going, really everything was great.
Seemed great. And now let's talk about the Velodrome. That was a beautiful. I watched everything. I watched women's 200-meter time trial qualifications. I watched everything online. It's
You could
so
see it. It was
great.
amazing.
It's so
Yeah,
amazing, and 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 so I watched every bit of it. And that Velodrome seemed incredible.
it is. It really was. Of course, everyone was worried about that one because that venue in particular got a lot of negative attention in the run up to it, and everyone was concerned whether or not it was even going to be finished. But it turned out beautiful.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it seemed a really interesting design. It did have longer straightaways than normal. Like a lot of the sprinters seem to be able to come around in the sprints because of that design.
Yeah, absolutely. It was much more cigar shaped than what we're used to racing. That said, we do have the track in LA that is very cigar shaped, so it wasn't quite that far. But at least from our end, we were used to racing on that sort of that shape of track.
All right. So wonderful. So now you finished your third Olympics. Are you looking at Tokyo? Are you thinking about that?
No, not at
No.
all.
You sure? Never say
Right?
never.
Yes, well, that's true. You never say never and always, but I guess in the interest of full disclosure, I can say that at the end of London, I wasn't thinking about Rio, but by the time I landed back in Newark, I already had my plan.
Uh-huh.
Um, but no, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say I'm not looking at Tokyo. I've spent my entire adult life now chasing the Olympics,
Right.
and so there's from my perspective now, there's so many more cool adventures that I want to have in the sport, uh, outside of the Olympics and outside of, I guess, even outside of the UCI that I want to. There's a lot more that I want to do before I'm done. And
Don't
chasing the Olympics can be pretty prohibitive. So it's time to do some exploring.
which dovetails perfectly into what I want to bring up now, which is, as you know, I've been my entire adult post race career has been focused on developing American racing. I really feel that the riders like yourself, and I talk a lot about the McCormick Brothers. Did you overlap with them, the McCormick Brothers? I don't know if you
Uh,
did or not. You might be too young for
yeah,
them.
I really remember their careers from the '90s when I was growing up.
Yeah, they were like stock cars on wheels. Those guys were great. And, really, the focus of this is about the Thompson Bucks County Classic, the great criterion in Doylestown of this talk. And we're very much hoping to see you there at that race, a spectacular kind of race for you. And my thought is, for me, American cycling has been so UCI focused and road focused over almost the past 15 years, with very little emphasis on developing the domestic sport, developing track racing. I mean, you've been sort of a lonely flag holder for track racing in America for a long time. You and Sarah Hammer, and so for me, I'm hoping someone like you can come back and really help get the dialogue going towards developing American racing, getting more criterions out there, getting more kids racing track racing. I mean, for me, it's unbelievable that this country, with our you still there? What? Uh-oh. I'm losing you a little bit. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So yeah, so as you may have known, I've spent this year riding for the German track team, the Maloya Push Bikers.
Right.
And the big focus of their program is their future stars.
Right.
And they have 65 kids under the age of 19.
Wow.
Future Stars program just in Bavaria. And so what we're trying to launch for next year in Pennsylvania is a sister program, an American franchise, if you will, of the German Push Biker Future Stars program, for just that reason, that we want to have another way to bring people into the sport and to teach a sustainable way of enjoying the sport. Because the trouble I see that, and what we have a lot in American cycling, is if you get into junior racing as a kid and you want to go full gas and try and win everything at nationals, there's places for you to do that. And if you want to learn how to ride a bike and learn about bike racing, there's places that you can do that, but there's not too much in the middle. And so what we want to do is create a good, safe place and a great environment to teach cycling as a sustainable future. Because it's great as an elite sport, it's great as a beginner sport, it's great when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There's no time that it's bad. And so it's, from our perspective, sport, if a rider comes into the sport at the age of 15, wins a bunch of medals at junior nationals, maybe junior worlds, but then is gone by 24, 25, and never looks back.
Right, and so that's exactly, I think, and this is why I'm so happy to be speaking with you, that what we need to do in this country. We need to use racing to help push cycling as a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Any community that's cycling friendly is a better community. I mean, I live in Manhattan. It's actually incredibly cycling friendly, Manhattan. You've got you've got all the bike paths. You've got the West Side bike path, the East Side bike path. You've got the city bikes. You know, the free bikes, or they're $100 for a year. You've got the whole thing for year bikes, and you see them all over the place. And well, that's really wonderful. That's really wonderful, and I'd like to speak more with you about your program, because that's exactly what needs to be done. And Pennsylvania is the perfect place to do it. I mean, for whatever reason, Pennsylvania's always produced these great bike riders, and there's no reason why it won't continue to do so with people like you leading the way going forward. So I want to talk a little bit about the Doylestown criterion. You've written that, right?
Yes, I have written it a few times.
Give me for someone who doesn't know a lot about racing, looking in, what's your impression of that race as an Olympian in general, as compared to the races you ride around the world? I mean, it's a specific kind of race. It
is. The Doylestown race is slightly unique for us. It's still a criterium. It fits the classic definition of a criterium, but it's always a little bit longer. The course is a little bit tougher, but also the time of year plays a very interesting role in the race itself, because it's a hard bike race. It's on the back of a really hard day the day before, and so you've got this really interesting mix of riders coming up on good form in the late season, riders coming down off of good form from earlier in the year. You've got varying levels of motivation, and then for me, a lot of times it's been right at the beginning of really kicking off the track campaign.
Right.
But then it's set in this beautiful little town in Bucks County, which is not too far away from where I live, and it's a really great atmosphere. It's a great slice of Americana, and it's always fun to go there and race.
All right. Well, Bobby Lea, I guess I'm going to ask you about, do you have now a huge decompression? Are you just like, whew, it's all coming down? There have been some articles about that, how sometimes athletes have trouble post-Olympics. You must have experience with that. Are you about to really decompress? Or are you going to keep it going?
That's a really great question, and it's different. It's been different every time, but still in the middle of this Olympic bubble, there's not much decompression that's happening. Today is Saturday, so it's been 4 days since I finished racing, but it really starts. It starts when when you hit your destination airport back at home.
Right.
And you look around and you realize that you're dressed in your full Team USA getup, all of a sudden you're kind of the strange one in the airport. And that's when you start to realize things are strange, or not strange, but different. And you get picked up out of this Olympic bubble, thrown right back into normal life. And for the most part, it feels really great, really refreshing, but every now and then you just kind of look around and think, wow, this is a little bit of culture shock right here.
Right.
Right back into normal life. And it's from there the process starts. But yeah, sometimes are different than others, but this time I'm very much looking forward to going home, taking a deep breath, and starting to wind down from this whole Olympic journey.
Well, wonderful. Well, congratulations. 3 Olympic berths. That's a major accomplishment. You've held honored American cycling on the track, kept it alive. You're here. You're going to build cycling for the future. That's very clear. And just don't decompress too much before September 11th. That's the only thing I ask. We're looking for you on the front. We're going to have people cheering for you. We really want to cheer an Olympian in Doylestown. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And have a safe trip home, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Bye.
Bye.